One of the things that Kevin didn't share with you that I would like to share with you is that I was born and raised in southern New Jersey. I am an honors graduate of the College of New Jersey, and I now live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where I miss just two things. Pizza. That's right. Who said that? How did you know that? Seriously? So where do you live now? Can you find good pizza there? I know, it's rough. The second thing I miss is the ocean. And while I have found ways to meet both of those needs, there actually is a third thing I miss. And that's where you come in tonight. I miss the rude people. I do. I really do. You Midwesterners, which I know many of you are just so nice. You're so gracious and genteel. And I am just not used to that. So what I'd like for you to do for me tonight is help make me a little bit more comfortable and feel very, very comfortable being rude to me. Seriously. Here's how you can do that. If you hear something tonight that you agree with, that you concur with, if you hear me referring to a strategy that you have tried and it's worked, I want you to jump in and share it with the group. If you feel strongly about something to which I'm speaking, interrupt me. Don't raise your hand. If your cell phone rings, answer it. As a matter of fact, I may want to speak to them because we are taping tonight, and you never know what kind of comedic inserts we'll get from your caller. But seriously, you will find from an adult learning perspective that one of the strategies that works very well in presentations is to engage your audience and have them participate. One of the most awkward moments for any presenter is when you stand before a group, whether you know them well or not, and see these glazed over eyes, disengaged, practically sleeping, head-bobbing people. Okay? You're not doing a good enough job if that's what's happening. So one of the things I'm going to encourage you to do tonight is talk to me and talk to us. And here's why. From an adult learning perspective, your propensity or willingness to actually implement a strategy that you'll hear tonight goes up exponentially if someone in your peer group says that they have tried it themselves and it works. Okay? All night long I can be saying, well, try this and do this and try this and do this. But if somebody says, yes, Sexter, that rocked. We did that at one of our crew safety meetings, and I'll tell you, it was phenomenal. That really increases your willingness to implement. So be rude, shout out, yell at me. I'm not afraid. Is there anybody here anybody here knows that they're going to be rude to me right away? I'd love for one or two of you just kind of yeah, start throwing stuff, you know, that's cool, okay. But I do want this to be kind of participative because it really does make it more engaging, and there's several things I know you can teach me as well. It was 1996. It was October, frankly. And she stood in the wings as the individual who introduced her spoke so effusively about her affability and all the accomplishments that she had had. And as the 100,000 live audience participants began clapping and cheering for her, she emerged from the back of the stage and walked slowly to the lectern. She was speaking that night to over 100 million viewers around the world via satellite and TV. She had over 100,000 live people in the audience that night. And I will never forget what she did. Blushingly, she says thank you to her introduceur. And I will tell you, it's an honor to introduce someone. So if you're ever asked to do that, take it as such. She took a deep breath, and she began to speak on a topic that she knew very well. You could see her brace herself, as so many of us do when we have lecterns, with both hands. She was outstanding at making eye contact with her audience. She became soft-spoken, and she spoke lovingly and passionately. Suddenly, almost mid-sentence, she steps away from the lectern, and she goes completely silent. Right at the moment where many people were thinking, is something wrong? Right where you, as listeners, begin to think this was an awkward moment, she began to come around the lectern, and she walked down the steps into that audience of 100,000 people. That evening was the Republican National Convention where Elizabeth Dole was asked to speak about her husband, Bob Dole. And she did something I've never seen anyone do before. And what she said as she came down those steps, literally having interrupted her own program, is, I want to see your eyes, and I want you to see mine. Because I'm speaking about a man that I love, and I want you to feel it. The intimacy was what was so moving. How do you get intimacy with 100,000 people in an audience? Well, she did it. It's one of the greatest presentation strategies I've ever seen, and I still use it till today. Very, very engaging. So the first strategy I would talk to you about a little bit today is to not be afraid of leaving the safety of what can be perceived as like a physical shield. Now, I know you're nervous. I'm very nervous, even right now. But I will tell you that if you want your listeners to remember what you say, you must be compelling, and you must do something memorable.